Hello everyone, and welcome to today's video where I am going to be creating my very own dopamine menu. This was a trend back in 2024 that I never got around to doing, and I feel like it will bring me some joy. So like and subscribe, grab your pencil, and let's get to creating. You might be wondering, what is a dopamine menu? And it is a personalized list of activities that you enjoy and can quickly do to boost your mood and your motivation. And so it's very personalized and customized from individual to individual. But I feel like I'm really just going to concentrate on some more of the aesthetic side of things and some of the things that bring me joy, because typically you lay them out in a menu like fashion and you have things that are quicker to do, things that take a little more time and attention. But I am just going to draw out some pictures that represent things that I like to do to boost my mood, and that's kind of going to be my version of the trend. So, of course, for me, what immediately came to mind was food. I love a good croissant, any carb, basically. And then I've been loving an iced matcha lately. I recently got stuff to make my own at home, and it feels so fun to get to make my own every morning. It kind of feels like I'm in a little cafe, and I get to have a special moment with it. And then I also wanted to add in a PS4 controller because I love playing video games with my husband. Added in some art markers, of course, and then I had to fix up some of the drawings because everything was kind of coming together in the wrong spot, and I had so many tangents and things that did not look right, so I moved a little straw over in my matcha. Next, I wanted to add in some flowers because they're beautiful and they definitely give me a little mood boost. And then I wanted to add in a cute little bow, mostly just for the aesthetics because I think they're adorable. And then it was time to fill in the details. I added in some bubbles because I also love cleaning, and that's kind of a weird one because a lot of people don't really want to do that, but I really enjoy having a clean home and enjoy the process of getting to make things feel pretty and polished. And then I decided to also put in a little notepad in the background for journaling, and then I titled it Dopamine Menu at the top. And even though this isn't in a menu fashion, I still feel like that's the trend and the theme that I was going to do. Of course, I added in some sparkles, and here is the layout. I think it looks really good, and it has some of the things that have been bringing me joy lately in it, and it's just really fun to reflect on some of those things that bring me happiness. And now comes the scary part, which probably would not be on my dopamine menu, and that is the outlining. I think outlining things is really fun and it makes it really finalized and beautiful, but it's also terrifying because you have to have such a steady hand. But I found a little piece of paper that I could use as a ruler. I don't like to use actual rulers when I'm outlining because I don't like getting marker on my ruler. That's like not fun. So I found a little piece of paper and made my straight lines as straight as possible. And then it was time to do all of the tiny details and just do all of the outlining on this page, which I think turned out pretty well, and I'm glad with how it looked. So I just went ahead and did all of those things and outlined all of the drawings that I've made to represent some of the things that bring me joy. So if you want to color along today, then I feel like maybe you could come up with some activities. Or if you're not much of an artist and you don't want to draw your own, then doing it like the menu fashion, you can look it up online, get some inspiration. But this was actually really fun, even if just to sit there and reflect on some of the things that bring you happiness. It was a really fun activity, and drawing them out added that extra layer of creativity for me. And it was really fun to get to draw them and create a beautiful visual page that has a whole bunch of my interests on it in the same place. Plus, I got to make it look really pretty and aesthetic with all of my colors that I choose later, which was the cherry on top. So once I outlined everything, I erased the pencil in the background, hoping I got every detail in. And then I wanted to add some different line variation to kind of break up some of the drawings. Everything was just blending together, and I have so much on this page that I really wanted some things to stand out. So I gave them a little bit of thickness, and now it's time for the colors. But before we get into the coloring, I have created a coloring page of all of these drawings that we just made together, and you can color along too if you find some of these things bring you joy as as well. All you have to do is go to my website, anchoredartdesigns.com, and you can download it. I just need your name and your email, and it's a free downloadable coloring page. You can either download it with no background and color it on your iPad or laptop, or you can print it out and color along. So let's get to coloring. For the coloring, at first, I wanted to start off kind of realistic, so I decided to do a cute little pink bow since pink has been my favorite color lately. It's usually blue, it might change, I don't know, why restrict myself like that, Right now, it's baby pink. So I decided to make the bow pink, and then I worked on the art markers next. I wanted to make them look extra three-dimensional, and I picked some fun colors to be the markers. And then it was time for the PS4 controller, and this is where things went a little crazy. I didn't want to just do a black controller, and they do come in different colors, like we have a blue and a red one, but I felt like it would be cute and more aesthetic and more my style, and honestly give me more dopamine if I made it pink and purple instead of red or blue. So I felt like, why not add in some fun colors? And then I decided to even add in yellow and blue to further push the colorful effect and to just make it look a little more three-dimensional by adding in some different tones. And then I thought, we should do this with all of these drawings. Let's add in some funky, fun colors to all of these and just make it a little more cohesive as a whole, but also add in some joy and more color and not just make everything the color it is in real life. I still wanted you to be able to tell what they were, so I didn't make like a pink croissant, but I did add in a little bit more color and had some more fun with the colors that I chose to add in and made it more my own. And this is kind of a fun page because you can choose any color for any of these things and still know what they are, or you can transform this iced matcha into an iced coffee. So now it's time to work on the matcha, which I still am trying to figure out what color marker matcha relates to the most. But I picked these colors and blended them out, and I feel like it made a perfect matcha latte color. And then it was time to work on the croissant, which they have so many different colors and layers and textures. This was kind of a challenge, but I decided to just keep bringing in browns and warm up the croissant and make it look crispy and flaky and buttery. Oh man, now I need a croissant. Then I decided to add in some extra warmth, and then it was time to work on the candle that I added in the background. I love creating a little vibe, and candles do that. This is like a fancy candle, but still it goes with the effect. And then I colored in the strawberries at the bottom. They're my favorite fruit. And yeah, I just kept on coloring everything in the colors that I wanted. I basically used a lot of the same colors over. I tried to do things a little differently, but I like the same three colors of pink, purple, and blue. So I, of course, had to add those in. I actually used the same colors purposefully too. Like, since I already had green matcha in the bottom left corner, it wouldn't really make sense to use a different green for the flowers up top because then it would kind of unbalance the drawing. So I also picked the same colors on purpose sometimes. But then it was time to do the background, and at first I wasn't going to, but I thought it would add a lot more fun to this page to use some of my favorite colored markers for the background. Plus, this sketchbook is made for these markers. It's literally an Ohuhu sketchbook, and Ohuhu markers are the alcohol-based markers that I'm using. So this sketchbook just blends all of the colors together really well. Everything that I'm using in this video will be linked down below if you want to know the specifics, but I felt like since everything was flowing really well, this would be a great opportunity to add in a background. And then of course, after I added in all of the background colors, it was time for my favorite part, the white gel pen details, which definitely added the most dopamine into this page for me. I love adding in the highlights and making the page sparkle, and this just adds that extra touch that all of my art needs. And once I was done adding in all of the highlights, here's how my page turned out. It is so beautiful. I love the colors. I feel like it could use a tiny bit more contrast, but I really love the pastel vibes and I didn't want to throw them off. So I'm really happy with how it turned out. I think it is so beautiful. Of course, we've got the matcha, croissant, art markers, PS4 controller, tulips, bow, journal, candle, cleaning bubbles, and it turned out so beautiful. I love this page, and if you colored along, then tag me on Instagram at Anchored Art Designs because I want to see how yours turned out too. But this was so much fun to create a dopamine menu and fill it with some of my favorite things and some aesthetic things that bring me joy. Like and subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys in the next video. I post every Friday and lots of shorts daily, so like and subscribe if you haven't already. Thanks for creating with me. Creating this brought me a lot of joy, and I hope it did for you too. Thanks for watching. Bye!